What is up, our friends in film fandom, wherever you may be and however you may be watching and or listening? We appreciate you being here and giving us just a little bit of your time. We are, of course, the Harsh Truth, and I have once again, of course, not Frank. His joke's gonna keep going. His internet is just taking an absolute crap right now. Infected with, I don't know, a rage virus of some sort, something to do with monkeys. I don't know. Maybe you put monkeys in a room, they'll make Shakespeare. I don't know. But anyway, we're here talking about some horror, some zombies, or maybe not zombies. Infected, we'll get into that. But would not have it any other way to have probably the best person to talk about it. And that is, of course, the shape from the Lone Star State. That would be Tex. How are you this evening, sir?
Doing well, my friend. You know, I got a little confused. I went to watch this movie and I kept seeing a bunch of people screaming and waving Mexican flags there. I'm like, this isn't a 28 Days Later movie. This is a different kind of riot. So I got confused. I couldn't tell which one was which. But I finally figured out what's the right movie. So we're good. What's up? What's going on, everybody? Hope y'all are doing well out there in movie land, as we like to say around us.
So mostly peaceful protest, right?
Mostly people. Well, see, that's the thing. The rage virus people are mostly peaceful in this movie, so you can't criticize them. So it's fine.
Art doesn't reflect life, or something like that.
We're getting close, man. We're getting close. I'll tell you, we're not far.
I know. Of course, I also picked the best shirt to wear as we're talking about that kind of stuff. First in the chat, we got Dr. Nate the Garbage Man. Casey sticks video games up his ass while humming. You can feel the love tonight from the Lion King. I mean, he's no John Legend, so I mean that's kind of an insult to John Legend.
I'm gonna give Nick a 10.5 for descriptiveness on that one. So you know, he nails that one out of the park. So, good job.
It's a picture. I'm sorry, Sir Elton John, not John Legend. John Legend can fuck off.
He paints a picture that none of us want to see. That's the honesty.
I know. It's fun. Anywho, so you can tell from the title. We are, of course, talking about 28 Days Later. We are finally here, finally starting this series. We're going to be working our way through 28 Days Later, and next week we're going to do 28 Weeks Later in preparation for the following week. That weekend, but the following week we'll be doing 28 Years Later, which is highly anticipated. I love the poster for it. I love all the posters for these, honestly. This is really cool. I meant to say this last time. I do want to give a shout out to Brooding Gamer, who has been making some of our thumbnails for the past couple videos. Yeah, he made this right here, and I meant to thank him last time. So I apologize, but we appreciate you. His stuff's down in the
he's out there preparing for Jurassic World, and he's buying. Yeah, he's out hunting for the help. I'm helping him hunt for Jurassic World merchandise. So you know. We're all contributing here. It's all good.
Yeah. Like I said, his stuff's in the description below. And like you said, if you like dinosaurs, anything Jurassic Park related, he is the man to go see. He actually just hit 4,000 subscribers. So congrats to him. And he's trucking along. The park's getting bigger, as they say. Spared no expense. Anywho, so 28 Days Later from 2002. That doesn't make you feel old. 28 Days Later is a 2002 post-apocalyptic horror film directed by Danny Boyle and written by Alex Garland. It stars Cillian Murphy as a bicycle courier who awakens from a coma to discover that the accidental release of a highly contagious, aggression-inducing virus has caused the breakdown of society. Naomi Harris, Christopher Eccleston, Megan Burns, and Brendan Gleeson also appear as supporting roles. 28 Days Later was released on the 1st of November 2002 in the UK, and the 27th of June in 2003 in the US, to generally positive reviews and commercial success, grossing $84.6 million worldwide on a budget of only $8 million. Telling y'all, it's possible. Don't take a whole lot to make something really awesome and, make it successful. It became one of the most profitable horror films of 2002. I mean, no kidding. Reviewers praised Boyle's direction, the cast's performance, Garland's screenplay, and the atmosphere and the soundtrack. On the film review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes, 87% of 235 critics reviews gave 28 Days Later a positive review with an average rating of 7.4 out of 10. The site's consensus reads, quote, kinetically directed by Danny Boyle, 28 Days Later is both a terrifying zombie movie and a sharp political allegory. I mean, that's pretty fair.
Yeah.
So I know, I mean, you and I probably, I think I could, well, they're out there, but I could probably reach behind me and just grab a copy of these movies because I think we have 2 sets of these.
Same.
Actually, she has a double
the
feature.
DVD for forever.
Yeah, she has a double feature. I have them separate, but give me your quick thoughts on this movie. And what do you think about this one?
I don't think you can call yourself a horror fan and not be a fan of this one. Like this is one of those movies that, I mean, yes, this is a British sensibility film, and I'm not real big on British films as a whole, but this one makes my list. I mean, this film literally brought zombies back to the big screen after all the Romeros and everything else. Just seeing the ferocity on screen, the violence, and it was also kind of tame looking back at it, but the cultural significance of this movie, which, hell, you've got, man playing God, and then PETA causes the apocalypse. So once again, I'm calling up. I'm just saying, we're both equally responsible.
I love the irony of this movie.
Maybe we don't play God, and maybe animals aren't that important. Just saying, people, let's get our senses together here. But yeah, no, I'm a big fan of this one. I actually, controversial statement of the night, but I like 28 weeks better than days, oddly enough.
Shit.
But yeah, I'm one of the rare ones, but they're both excellent films. So, they both rock.
Yeah, I love this movie. Not only just as a movie and just in its own genre of this horror post-apocalyptic type movie.
Oh, yeah.
I'm kind of glad we just did like Wrong Turn. I kind of forgot about this for a second because I was thinking about it. I'm like, this is still in that era. Like, this is the zombie angle of it. Like, now we have, instead of like lumbering, like just dead, slow moving actual zombies, like I said, this is starting the infection type stuff more so than dead people coming back to life. But it also, I was like, you know what? We need to have merch. The hat's already red. We just need to have a red hat that said makes zombies scary again. Because I was like, this shit made zombies terrible. We need to make like MAGA-esque hats.
Oh no,
days later.
Get like a plain white hat written in like blood font saying that, so the blood really stands out. That would be even better. That would be
make
cool.
Zombies fast again.
Yeah, make zombies fast again. There you go.
Yeah, because this added like a new like edge and terrifying angle to these creatures that we've in history we've been talking for probably hundreds of years, or I mean maybe in film, like even since the beginning of film, we talk about zombies. Thank you, Eli Roth, for that. I remember watching that episode on Eli Roth's History of Horror about zombies.
I love History of Horror. Dude, I've watched the show, and then he put it in audio form on podcast. I've re-listened to it like 3 times already. Like, that is a tremendous show. You can learn so much on that. Thank you. I agree.
Yeah, but I'm glad we have these in our lexicon of zombies now. Is these not only that they're faster, they're just agile. They run it like breakneck speed. Yeah, it's like, man, that gives you the edge where you'd think like slow zombies. I mean, I think Walking Dead kind of helped bring it back a little bit, where it's like it's still lumbering zombies. Like, yeah, you're not going to worry about a couple of them. You can outrun a few. It doesn't matter. But you get bunched up on. I know it still sounds dumb. They're like, how do you get killed by something that moves 0.5 miles an hour? I'm like, no, you get bunched up on and you get backed into a corner. I'm like, you're done. You're screwed. Yeah. But these, and also the fact that when you get infected, it's so much easier to get infected.
It's instant. So it's like within 20 seconds. 10 seconds.
20 seconds, and you're already
done.
a rage zombie. Yeah. It's insane how brutal this world became. And I love that for it. Let's see here. What do we got? So I guess I'm going Frank actually write stuff down for me. So first point is talking about Danny Boyle. again, as we know, who's kind of the mastermind behind this whole thing. I don't know if he's done anything else. He might have, and I might just be dumb.
He's done a couple. He did that. The only things I've ever seen of his, the Beach movie with DiCaprio, and then he did what was that James Franco movie where he had cut his arm off?
127 hours.
127 hours. I've seen those of his. Besides that, I haven't seen anything he's ever done.
Yeah, I forgot about 127 hours. The Beach is what you're talking about. Train Spotting, which is I think where him and Cillian Murphy work together. Sunshine, I've heard of that one. That's another post-apocalyptic thing. And of course, he's done Days, Weeks, and he is coming back for 28 years. And God praise be.
He didn't direct 28 Weeks. That was somebody else.
He's
Carlo,
listed in it. Well, let me see.
John Carlos, somebody directed part 2. I can't remember.
Juan Carlos. But Presidillo, yeah.
Yeah, it was somebody else who directed part 2. I can't remember.
Maybe he was like
I think he got like an executive producer credit, or his name was attached to it. I don't know, on some level, but he didn't direct 2 though. I do know that.
Well, I mean, George Lucas didn't direct episode 5, but I mean, he was still there.
Right.
I think
his name's on all of it. If it wasn't for him, part 2 wouldn't be there, so he deserves credit.
And he made that Steve Jobs movie from 2015. I knew he was something else I'd seen. Yeah.
No, I didn't see that either.
Slumdog Millionaire, like I said, Train Spotting 2, actually. Yeah. So I mean, he's got a cool. Oh, and Yesterday, that song by the Beatles. No, sorry, that one where like, isn't it like it's like a world where like the Beatles
and 4 Beatles movies. ... Shout out to Spaceballs 2 trailer.
I would have opened up on that, honestly, because that is the greatest news I've ever heard. If we're gonna stop rant for a second,
once you said Beatles movies, that I was coming out with it. You lobbed that softball up. I wasn't leaving that one.
I did.
So
we're getting a Spaceballs 2, everybody. So, oh my god. On that note, yeah, he hasn't done. I mean, he's done some good stuff, like some work that we know, like even if you don't. Like, hey, that movie where James Franco, it's that real story where the guy got stuck in a fucking canyon and he had to saw his own arm off with his little pocket knife to live. And it's like, oh my God, stop it. Jesus. Right. It's a brutal movie, man. I mean, he does do some, brutality pretty well if you think about it. Okay. Next point is cast. Yeah, I mean, shit, let me get pictures here instead of staring at my goofy face. Who's got there's some people. Right, so we got Naomi Harris, Brendan Gleeson, and of course Cillian Murphy. Not an overly large cast, but I mean, what did you think of the cast? Was there somebody that stood out to you? Random soldier number 3 who got killed? I don't know.
Yeah, no. There's so many. This is Cillian Murphy. Like, you can't not. I mean, this literally put him into the stratosphere. I mean, yeah, you could pick this or that person, but this literally brought him to. I mean, you can chart his career from this to Batman Begins, all the way to Oppenheimer. You know what I mean? The dude. I mean, he literally has like a Cillian Murphy is disappointed in me because of this guy's face, the way that he acts.
Peaky Blinders. This dude's amazing in Peaky Blinders. Holy shit.
Especially in like these scenes in the beginning when he's by himself. I mean, now of course,
these shots, that iconic shot there, like Big Ben, an empty London. On. God, that shit is cool.
That's just, like I said, you could pick the third, gaffer that was in one shot, whatever. This is Cillian Murphy's property here, pal. I like Aaron Taylor Johnson. He's starring in the new one. He's got big shoes to fill because Cillian Murphy laid it the fuck down, dude. But he just to see his transformation. Like, it took Rick like 6 seasons to go feral. Cillian Murphy did it in 2 hours. Like, he goes from, I woke up from a coma to poking a dude's eyes out with his thumbs. Like, he goes hard in this movie. You know what I mean?
He goes Rambo at the end. Yeah, it's awesome.
Oh yeah, no, he doesn't hold back. Yeah, Cillian Murphy. Obviously, he's the star of this thing, but as cool of a character as I thought Frank was just for the alcohol scene alone. We don't have time to carry that. Then he grabs 4 bottles off the top shelf. Like, okay, that guy's cool. I like that guy. Yeah. This is silly.
And this cheeky fucker just leaves his credit card on the fucking thing as he leaves. I'm like, okay, dude, really?
There's hundreds of thousands of dollars laying in the street. What good's that credit card going to be? Like,
that's the first thing you see Cillian Murphy doing is he like kind of realized what the hell's going on. He's like picking up all the money that was around, and it's like you don't really know. I mean, you might as well. I mean,
if money's no good, which retroactively looking back, if I was Cillian Murphy in this, I'd be like, hey, there's like $300,000 laying in the street. The rest of the world's still good. They take this money. I'm going to go back. True. Like I'd be doing that, but.
Well, we spoke too soon. His ears are burning. His eyes are burning. I don't know. Something's burning probably. But it
is case.
Whatever. I got this is the one he shows up on. Hey,
we had
the last one.
We had 3 KC's Raws on screen Tuesday, and not one sighting from him, but he shows up for this. So
maybe he was. I see he wasn't in the same room. Maybe he's out there.
There we go.
He's asking how's Frank going. Frank's having internet issues still.
Yeah, Frank couldn't talk for 10 seconds without freezing, so we had to he bowed out and he tossed the ball to us and said, go to the end zone. So that's what we're doing.
Could go all the way. I don't do sports. I know that though. I mean, whatever. Okay. Yeah, I'll leave that to you guys. Yeah, okay. For cast, shit. Yeah, it's see if I can find any more Cillian Murphy. I was definitely working on this maybe 2 hours ago. There's a wide one of the 4 of them. It's really hard to pick because, like I said, it's a young 25-year-old Cillian Murphy. Just talk about putting your whole foot in the door. I mean, dude, I think kicked the door in.
Oh yeah, he was completely unknown prior to this movie. Nobody knew who he was.
Right, and then he plays Scarecrow in Batman Begins, and it's like, whoa, yeah, this guy's got it.
Oh yeah,
he can do it. Which I think that was right after this, right? Because that was 2005. 2005.
Yeah, 05. Yeah, it wasn't long after this. Yeah, Begins.
And pretty sure that's Naomi Harris, right? Yeah. Shit, because she was in Pirates of the Caribbean, I think, right? And sometime after this too, she played Tia Dalma. So there's that, and then the dad Frank, all the way on the right, eating the apple. He's Mad-Eyed Moody for all the Harry Potter fans out there. So all these, they're killing it still. So. I think the thing because I definitely didn't cheat and watch Dead Meat James as I do with every horror movie. I've tried.
Oh, you never do that. I don't know what you're talking. I refuse.
I have never. I've never once. Apparently, the girl Hannah. I think they said this was her either like last film or something. And then she went into like singing, and then she just didn't really do much after that. So, but I mean, even Hannah plays it pretty well.
I'll tell you what, for this being one of her. I mean, obviously this isn't real, but she plays a very traumatic, her character almost has very traumatic things happen to her in this film. So, for this being one of, for a young actress, I'm sure that's a lot to take on and I'm not making a sexual pun if you know what I'm talking about.
We'll get to that part later. That's the back half of this movie. Jesus Christ!
Hand to God, I did not mean that one. That one just happened on, whatever. But yeah, it was a heavy role for a young actress. I think is the better way to say it. So, yeah.
And I also can't do this without obviously giving some props to Christopher Eccleston. For all you.
He plays a great asshole. Oh, he's great.
He's like just. It's like he's kind of got that level head a little bit, but he still plays that smarmy, just fucking shitty, villain type character.
I mean, him in this movie, you remember Day of the Dead, right? Romero's Day of the Dead?
The original, yes, with the military.
Where they're in the underground cave. I think he played this role. Well, I think this role was the way it was in this movie because of the way the commander was in Day of the Dead as kind of an homage to Romero. because they're in a very similar vein of. It's not that they're necessarily bad guys. It's they're military men. They're loyal to their brothers. They're part of their system. They're a cog in the wheel, if you will. And yeah, he's doing some bad stuff, but he has his men's best interest at heart. So it's the same old question that Walking Dead talked about for 10 years. There's no good guys. Everybody's bad who lives, kind of thing. So,
yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say. Let's go to the comment section. Oh God, I already see. Oh yeah, Casey's apparently going to give us a break from trolling, which I don't know if I ever believe that. And remember, my mom's really laying the smackdown on Casey. You better behave yourself, or bar
get the belt, mama. Whip his ass.
Yeah, well, I guess to be fair, he's pretty tame tonight. Somebody check his temperature. He might not be feeling so great. Yeah. So that's not the cast. That's Google. All right. Well, I guess we move on to the excuse me, Jesus, to the plot. Pretty shit for a plot. I mean, I couldn't really find a good picture, but like we start. If you can't really tell what it is, I first of all apologize because I did not mind that some of these pictures. I try to get high quality pictures, but some of them are kind of just low quality. But the point is, this was made in 2002.
The movie's low quality. That's the point.
The movie's low quality, but it's low quality on purpose, and it's weirdly part of its charm. Right. Like I said, we've talked about Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It gives it this like gritty, just raw feel to it, and it's unsettling. And then also the way some of the movement feels. The way they would film the infected, it made them look just unnatural in a weird way. It helps tremendously. Like I think we were talking about before, this is like one of the first films they did digitally instead of using an actual film, and you can tell the like 98% of this movie filmed that way shows through. But then at the end, they actually filmed it on like film, and it's kind of crisp, it's clean, and it's to give it a hopeful feeling, which we'll get there. But that's my roundabout way of saying this is a monkey, tied to a table, and he's being clockwork oranged into watching all these like riot videos and just like the worst bits of society being pumped into his brain, basically. So that's where we start. We start with all these infected monkeys. And I love the irony of this movie that it's like you think that these animal activists are doing the right thing. They break into the facility and they're going to release these monkeys because it's like, yeah, it's wrong for these lab guys to be experimenting on them. And the guy's like, yeah, but you don't understand. They're infected. What are you doing? Quit being stupid. Don't let them out. I wish I had a picture of the woman. She lets the monkey out. It just right for her face. Just takes her out like that.
Oh, yeah.
And we see her first. Yeah, that's the cold open. I mean, and all of a sudden she, in like 10 seconds, boom, she's an infected. It goes off the damn wire that fast. And
between this, Planet of the Apes, 12 Monkeys, I've seen enough movies to know we need to stop messing with them because every time they get involved, the world ends. It does not go well. Like we need to leave nature alone. Let them play with the bananas or whatever they're going to do. Like they can be a dangerous lot,
Let them throw their poop at each other. Like quit. Can we quit doing stuff with them?
The only good time it's ever worked in film is Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back when they let the monkey out. It's the only time it's ever worked. Besides that, our world ends people. Leave the monkeys alone.
The sign on the back of the van says Hollywood. There's a little Silent Bob for you, go. I love that that's his line in that movie. Just go watch Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. You'll know what I'm talking about. If you're friends with Kevin Smith. Okay. So yeah, and then we cut to I'll do my best, Dead Meat James. You cut to a title card. And it says 28 days later. And as much, I mean, we all love Walking Dead, but this movie did do it first. Cillian Murphy wakes up in a hospital to the infection, to the world having been just gone without him. And he Scrounge. There's a lot of Pepsi in this movie, which I don't know if it was on purpose or not, but I mean,
that had to be product placement because they said it way too much. That had to be product placement.
He takes like probably a lukewarm, probably stale-ish Pepsi from the vending machine that spilled. He tries all the payphones, which if kids you don't know what a payphone is, look it up. I don't know. I can't help you. He tries all the phones. They're dead. Now, to be fair, I think the Walking Dead comics were written around this time, so that might get
technically the first issue. Technically, the first issue was already out, and the second one was like, the first, because I started collecting like issue 5 or 6, but the first issue was already out. The second one came out like a week after this movie did. So like, it's kind of like how Hollywood does like 2 volcano movies in the same summer. It's kind of weird how it's. I'm not going to say that Robert Kirkman stole this idea, but if we're really gonna, I mean, go ahead.
Actually, the first issue of Walking Dead, Days Gone By, was published in 2004.
Okay, so it was after. I thought it came out before.
Well, no, so published. I mean, you think this came out in 2002? Like I said, we're cutting it really close here. I mean, maybe he saw. I mean, that's when he published.
I could have swore the first issue that Walking Dead had already came out, like just the first.
I know it was 2000.
Then this movie. I have to look more into that. I think I'm right, but I'm not for sure. I don't know.
It's Google. I don't know.
Either way,
never believe what you believe on the internet.
Whether it's Kirkman or the people behind this movie, they all stole it from George Romero. So they're all stealing. So either way, it is what it is. But it's the setup works. It's dude wakes up out of a coma in a hospital, and the world's gone. It's not an idea that's like so outrageous only one person would ever think of. It's actually a pretty easy setup.
And like I said, we get some of these that I just love. Again, that gritty, just like that sunrise coming up, and then there's iconic landmarks like Big Ben right there. You got the London Bridge. I'm sure, I don't know, it's a bridge in London. Fuck you, I'm not a Brit. I don't know. You got. I know what that building is. It's not the palace, but I've seen that building.
All I know is the clock's name is Big Ben. Other than that, I don't know.
I don't know what a kilometer is. Fuck you. I'm American. I didn't win the war.
In 1776. We don't have to care about what they say. All right, we won. Deal with it.
I know. You imagine going all over the world, and then you get stopped by that. I mean, come on, guys.
Right.
Do better. You gotta do better, Brits. But again, you get these shots, which I mean, and it's also amazing that this movie even got made the way it did. It's like they had to block off these streets, and they had literally minutes to just film this scene, get it done real quick, go, and then you gotta let all the morning traffic in London start pouring in. And it's like, good God, like how do you?
They were allowed to block off streets for 2 minutes at a time. I was listening to an interview with the director about this. He said that they hired the most attractive female, basically cops that they could get to go stop traffic for 2 minutes at a time and use as many cameras as they could. So all of this empty street footage that you see was gotten in like 2 minutes, but he has so many different angles and, different perceptions that they cut it all together and made it look bigger than it was. But they got these shots quick. I mean, this is the middle of business right now.
I wish I had the picture of the double-decker bus turned over, because it was the same thing. They're like, we tipped the bus over, filmed, boom, out, put it back up, go. Like, Jesus. Talk about some guerrilla style filmmaking, which I always appreciate it, because I mean, it's just fun that way. And again, now we start. One of the things that freaked me out with this movie, and it still kind of gives me some chills, one of my favorite scenes is the church scene.
Oh God, yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, when he goes in there, I don't have one of the cross, but what is this? This is some of this. And you see Jim down there in the bottom left corner. It's like this is what he was seeing. Nothing. Just nothing anywhere. And the first that he goes to this church, and then there are bodies everywhere in this church. And he goes there and just says like, "Hello," and this isn't the one, but like right there in the bottom, you see that one. Look at it, that one just stands up and just turns around and looks right at him. Jesus, if that doesn't give you chills, shit is freaky. And then he realizes, oh, that's not a place I want to be. And I think he cracks the father reverend over the face with his bag of Pepsi, which was kind of funny. I love he runs out like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that. I'm so sorry, Father. Runs out with all the infected chasing him. I think, did we both pick the same line? I think we did. Yeah, who fucking cares?
Oh, well, not just both of us, but Frank did as well.
Did
like
too.
We pulled the trifecta tonight, so it was
weirdly we didn't actually pick a quote. We all picked this graffiti on the wall where it just says "Repent, the end is extremely fucking nigh," which I was like, I love that.
Now,
that's really funny.
But let's be honest here: if you and I were reviewing Walking Dead, odds are we would both put "Don't open dead" inside in the wrong order, like it's on the doors. Just
don't dead open inside. Yep.
Yeah, don't dead open inside. Just because we're zombie nerds. I mean, but how can you not pick that? Like, that's a T-shirt right there. Put that graphic on a T-shirt and buy it. Like, that is awesome.
I love that. So, waking up the infected is not the best idea, and I'm glad I got this shot of him. He's running, and as he's running from this horde. And suddenly there are some Molotovs flying through the air, and some of these infected are getting lit on fire. My only issue with zombies, whether it's a show, a movie, a video game, if you're going to use fire on a zombie, you better kill it, because if you don't, now you have a zombie, and now it's on fire.
That's on fire.
You have two problems now. I mean, and while if you always ask me what's my favorite type of damage or elemental damage, if I'm in an RPG or D&D, whatever, I'm like fire, always fire, pick fire every time, fire. Maybe not in this case though, because you kill him, you got a problem in your hands. Like I said,
I mean, let's say the fire doesn't kill the zombie. He's running around like everything else on fire, and let's say maybe your safe house gets caught up, and now you ain't safe no more, or God knows what situation. Like it's just. Head dead. That just go for the classic role. Just do what you gotta do.
Go for the head. You gotta kill the head.
Let's not forget Zombieland. Always double tap. That's important here. You always do your thing.
Remember, we are in Britain. They don't have guns.
Yeah.
Remember, they don't really have guns and.
Yeah, I forgot they're kind of cucks over there in Britain. They don't have two.
Not so much. We're baseball. We're baseball bats and melee weapons. I mean, unless you're the military.
Oh, hey, pull them. But they've got swords. They got knives and stuff. Just pull them Michonne. You know what I mean? You can do it that way. So it's all good.
We've seen Shaun of the Dead. Get a cricket bat. It'll work.
Or a cricket bat. Yeah, there you go. Shaun of the Dead. Yeah.
Start throwing your records at them like throwing stars. What? Just pick the good ones, That's a great movie. But yeah, this is how he. I'm gonna jump ahead a little bit here, but he meets Selena back there, and what's his name, Dave? That he was with, or she was with.
Oh yeah.
I'd hate to say. I mean, it was like, well, he. It lends itself to this world that, again, if something should happen to you, her friend there, that's Cillian Murphy, obviously, but her friend gets cut on the arm. I couldn't find a picture of them going to find Jim's parents, which is a kind of a emotional scene. He finds his parents in their room, and they decided to take their own lives, and they left a note on the back of one of his childhood pictures.
That note was like, that scene was pretty hardcore, man. Like I tried to find a picture of the note. Yeah, I can remember people watching this in theaters, and like that was getting tears in the audience of just see that quick shot of people reading that note, because I mean, up until this point, Jim is just kind of trying to survive and live, but you can tell he really prayed. I believe it within the story. At that point, that's like when he had his Rick moment of seeing Carl being took, and that's when he decides, okay, I got to do whatever I need to survive. Like that was his moment in time right there. Of, all bets off.
Nice. See, my mom's remembering that the big ones from This Is The Last of Us, not This Is Us. Sorry, Last of Us. The big zombie came out of the ground, the fire. Yeah, the big bloater came out of the fucking ground. And it was on fire. Yeah. To be fair, I think fire is probably your bet. Well, the flamethrower.
Fire is good once you put them. Fire. Well, there's two scenarios. If you're dealing with more, I'd say if you're dealing with more than two, or they're already dead and you need to get rid of stuff. That's when fire is most effective.
To be fair, we saw in this second season of Last of Us how much Tommy struggled with that big bloater with the flamethrower, and he was going like tank empty, and he was torching that thing with fire, and it took, I think, the whole thing before it finally just collapsed. But man,
it's hard if you're dealing with because now obviously these aren't zombies. We've already established this. People have been arguing, are these not zombies since this movie came out? That argument's never going to stop. I'm team no, but it's whatever. They're infected. They're rage monsters. It is what it is. But
rage zombies, yeah, the rage monsters.
We've seen the one thing that whether you're rage monster or zombie that these have in common is the brain. Because the way that the scientists affected that Ebola, gene, it goes into the brain and it affects the rage portion of it. And if you're already mad, what are you going to do? You're going to lash out. You know what I mean? So that's one thing that they do have in common.
Yeah. I'm glad there is only one damn picture of that, and I can't use it. That sucks. Later on, I'm trying to find a. Damn it, it's fine. But
we're doing this on the fly, people. Frank was going to host, but
we're doing it live. Yeah,
his internet hated him today, so we're doing it live. As Jeremy said,
his internet rage quit. Yeah,
right.
But you see, so Jim's getting kind of sentimental. Like I said, his parents did just die, and he's left with that note that says like, we went to sleep with you, now we're sleeping with you, or something. It's like, man, that sucks. I'm assuming they knew he went to the hospital, and they may have thought he was dead too, and
right,
chose that way out. But I mean, honestly, it might have been better than getting rage infected, because shit.
Well, if you're older, you can't. You could be an Olympic athlete, and you couldn't outrun these rage monsters.
No,
like there's no. Smart. And that's what makes these so scary, and why literally this changed the game for, so many things.
They're terrifying.
You can't run one of these. You can't get away from.
No.
Walking Dead, the villains in Walking Dead are the people. It's not the horde of zombies. They're just the distraction and the problem that you have to deal with that day. It's the people in that world. This world, it's the rage monsters that want to eat your face off and just kill your whole family. So, there's no getting away from these people. So yeah, his parents were not getting away. Like they took out the whole city. They had no chance whatsoever.
Yeah. So, like I said, Jim's getting kind of sentimental. He's watching some home videos, and the very Last of Us fashion. I mean, the neighbors decide they want to come crash through the front the glass door and attack. And they end up attacking Selena's friend, who saved Jim as well. And man, he's bleeding pretty bad out of one little orifice of his arm where he got scratched. And
yep.
I love that, because it's that, again, Selena sees it, and she's like, I didn't know he was infected, but I could see it in his fucking face that he knew he was. It's like, it's got to be that quick. It's like immediately she had to take him out instead of him getting infected with the rage virus. So it again solidifies this world as being absolutely that brutal.
There's no time to cut off a leg if you get bit in this world. Like that doesn't exist. If now you can get the fluid on your skin and you're fine. if it penetrates a orifice, eyes, mouth, nose, ear, anything, you're gone. Like, you might as well, grab the gun and do what you need to do, because you're within seconds of attacking your family and loved ones. Like, there's no way around it.
Just put on your favorite Nirvana album, and I'm sorry.
You're gonna do your Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Anywho,
we all know Courtney Love drove him to that. We can talk about that another day, because I have theories.
Courtney Love is what killed Nirvana. I'm telling you what.
Yeah.
Anyway, I couldn't. I don't think I have one of the apartment, but so now Selena and Jim are just kind of the two left, and they see again. I wish I could find some of these really cool stills of this movie. They spot a high-rise apartment. One of the balconies has just blinking Christmas lights on the outside. And you think, oh, well, that's where we should go. Probably a good idea. They start making it up the Ghostbusters level of stairs. Where let me know when we get to 23, because I'm going to throw up. Jesus.
Right.
And like I said, Jim just came out of a coma. He's had some stale Pepsi and some candy bars, so he's having a hell of a sugar headache. And it's like, this is not, and he probably weighs 90 pounds soaking wet. But you don't have any time to really deal with that, because now the rage infected are coming through the fucking building. And I think Dead Meat James said it. He's like, you watched how much the two of them kind of struggled to get up that many flights of stairs, and these zombies are just running up them stairs like nothing.
Oh yeah, they might as well be Usain Bolt. They're the fastest men alive. There's no argument.
Yeah, Usain Bolt. But luckily, you come across this big fella here in the riot gear, who
doing his best Mandalorian impression over
here. Right, and he's pointing to the door. This is the way. He says, "Go down to the flat number down there." And I kind of get it. They're banging on the door, trying to let him in, and you hear the little girl saying, "Well, where's Dad? Where's my dad?" And it's like, open the door. You don't hear the zombies. God damn it!
Right.
Like, I get it, but yeah. So anyway, now we're introduced to Frank. So there's our Frank for the show.
We substitute. Frank couldn't be here in person, so we're pulling this Frank. So
yeah, we have another one. That's why I had this picture here with the lights in the background, where they meet Frank and his daughter Hannah. Hilariously, who it's like they're still trying to be nice people. They kind of realize like, oh, that these are they're good people, but it's like they're kind of just stuck here. They can't really go anywhere on their own. It's safety in numbers and all that. And I love it. They're trying to be like, well, what do we have? What do we have to offer? And Hannah's just like, I don't know, mom's creme de menthe. And he's like, yes. It pours everybody a creme de menthe, and we're all going to have a toast to new friends. And I'm like, yeah, I hope nothing bad ever happens to anybody in this movie. I've seen a movie before. Yeah, and also this I'm glad I got, because again, I love this shot. But there are so many Dutch angles in this movie too, man. It also adds that unsettling feeling with these extreme angles like that. It's crazy.
Well, it's not just the angles, but it's the color palette of the film too.
Yeah, like I said, this isn't just a bad quality photo. That's what it looks like in the movie. It's
right. That's done intentionally. It's visually unpleasing to the eye, and like subconsciously it's setting you in a mood of you're off. It's not something, it's not supposed to look or be this way, and it's like, I mean, just like you mentioned the chainsaw earlier, how it has like that yellow tint, it's almost like a filter over it, like a yellowish brown, where everything is dead and whatever. I mean, when you look out into the, shout out to the cameraman for catching, I mean, I don't know the flight patterns of London, but they made sure to not get any, how some films, like a plane will accidentally fly by.
Troy.
There's none of that in this movie. And
yeah, it's like, I'm looking at like the streets. I'm like, are there cars? Are there people? Like, I'm looking all over the place.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They didn't have time to digitally like, oh, we got a CGI out that, here's a Volkswagen, get that out of the shot. The only time that you see a plane in this movie, you're supposed to, because it's plot. And
that's
the way
I was
that
trying to find. I could not get a picture of that damn plane.
Oh, the airplane where they're walking
love that.
Jim out.
Yeah, because I love that shot.
But that's what I'm saying. When you're any good zombie, or not just zombie, but apocalypse film or television show, and something like this, this isn't backwoods Georgia or middle of nowhere Texas.
Jolly old London.
This is jolly old London, full of people, and for it to look destitute like this, it puts you in a headspace that you kind of have to process. Like, wait a minute, like there's no people, like where is everybody?
Yeah, just like Frank said, I love the grainy quality, like the original Texas Chainsaw.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. It's awesome. The look of the film is it's off-putting. It doesn't. It's not natural, to feel that way.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's what it looks like. That's not. It looks that shitty. It's not just the fact that it's London. It just actually looks that bad.
Well, if you go to London now, it might look that, but that's for political reasons. That's not because of the zombie apocalypse. But whatever. So.
But anyway, I don't have a picture of the close up of it, but in Frank's hand is a radio, a crank up radio, and they hear a broadcast from some soldiers saying, "Hey, we're at this checkpoint. Your salvation's here. We can protect you. It's it's the safest place for you to be.
Just come to Terminus. We've got food, but you'll be there."
Like, yeah, we've seen Walking Dead. We know how this. Do you really? I mean, they even said like,
if you're ever in a zombie apocalypse, never go to the military checkpoint. I've seen every zombie film. It doesn't go well. You're either going to die or get eaten. It's not going to go well. Stay away.
Yeah. And they say like, it does repeat. And they're like, well, if it's a recording, that means they could be dead. I mean, we don't know that this is, this is always that problem in the apocalypse. So, like, this could not be a real thing, or it could have been at one point, but we don't know. And it's like, well, do we take the chance, because another really cool shot of this movie, which I'm glad I got, was the rooftop with all the fucking buckets on top.
Yeah,
of him trying to catch the rain, because again,
rainwater.
It's London. It's fucking cloudy and it rains all the damn time. But I love the irony of this movie where he's like, "Yeah, it hasn't rained for 10 days." Yeah, never in fucking England. I'm like, that really sucks. Like, that's your luck, man. That like past almost 2 weeks, it hasn't even rained once. So you're
and see, that's the thing about this though, is
I love that shot.
This is only 28. Like, when you're seeing this, you're only 28 days into the apocalypse. It's not like supplies have dried up. There is still plentiful stuff. I mean, we see it when they go to the grocery store. It's completely full. I mean, there is still bottled water. There's still all of this, but it might as well be gone because you can't get to it. Like you're literally risking your life. It's just one of those things.
Yeah, because like, you got zombies sprinting at like Mach 5 at you. So I mean, not the best idea to really try to go down there. You can't manage that. Like, you just gotta go higher.
That's the whole thing.
I wish I had the shot of the closer shot. It's kind of funny. Well, I love this shot. I love like the desperation of like there's just every bucket and cup and bin for the Brits, the bin imaginable on this rooftop. But some of them are laundry baskets. And if you know anything about laundry baskets, it's not going to hold water. It's just an awkward goof of this movie, but I love it because it's like
I think most laundry baskets have the cutouts on the sides of them. But,
yeah. In closer shots, you can see them, and it's just kind of goofy. But it's like whatever. It still adds to the desperation that they're trying to just get as much water as they can to survive. But anywho, they decide, hey, screw it, we're gonna go. We're gonna take our chances on the road with this military checkpoint. And again, we get some. I couldn't find all of them, but we got some really cool shots of look at the whole motorway. That's actually that's actually the shot of Manchester. Up at the very top, you can see Manchester on fire, which I don't know if that's a real picture. That could just be Manchester. I got you, Brits.
It could be London. It could be England today, for all we know. That place is a mess over there.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so they find out like Manchester's like just completely on fire, and they're like, "Yeah, no fire crews to put it out." It's like, yeah, London Bridge is falling down. Well, it's fucking burning. So,
see, And this brings up a bigger question for me, though. You've seen just as much zombie content as I have. And I think the worst offender of this is probably Dawn of the Dead, because it's, they're in the mall. They have everything that they need. Why do they always leave? Where do you think you're going to go? What do you think you're going to find?
Yeah. Ooh.
Like, you're in a fortified high-rise apartment, mall, whatever it is. Like, take this film, for instance. Okay, they're in that apartment. Sure, it's 23 flights up and down both ways. But I'd be willing to bet you're probably safer and closer to supplies than taking your chance of going out onto a road to a military checkpoint that may or may not be there. That's a big gamble. Like, I'm only taking that if there's no supplies left. You know what I'm saying?
You kind of have to, worst case scenario, this thing, because honestly, like, what else are you going to do? Like, you never actually know. Sorry, I'm trying to find other pictures. Also, somewhere in there, that's the notes. Hello. Blah, blah, blah. Where's the comments? I am good at this. Thankfully, Frank came through and he had the picture of the plane. I appreciate you.
Oh, yeah.
He's back to working the strings. Anyway, there's another. So they come to a tunnel.
Hell no. Nope. We ain't going in that one. Nope.
I'm like, come on. Have you guys ever seen a movie either? Jesus, what do you think you should do? Go off
nope.
there up the ramp?
That's
go
a
the stupid
big no. Sorry.
You better put that car in reverse and go up that ramp.
Right.
I don't care how much time it's going to shave off. Like they said, like, no, let's just go in the daylight. Let's stay up on top and not do something stupid. But of course, we have to do arbitrary, stupid things. And but we get more really cool shots from this movie that are iconic. So of course they go through this tunnel and they end up with a flat tire, of course. And at the worst possible goddamn time, here come the infected.
You know what? Forget the wheel. I'm not stopping to change it. You keep driving on it now. Like, we'll find another wheel.
Everybody's going to sit on one side of the car. Put your weight on the one side, and we're doing
that's
that.
exactly what I'm doing. I'm not stopping.
Hell no. But we get a manufactured tension, and we're trying to change this tire as fast as we can with, again, these guys barreling down on us. And again, I like these silhouetted bits of them. You can see like the shadows.
That's just shot straight out of Resident Evil right there, by the way. Gorgeous shot.
Shit.
I love
that. So of course they get it fixed just in the nick of time. And I love that you even see it. It doesn't really make it bad, but I love that you just see the infected just kind of stop once they realize they're not catching the car. It's like, well, they just kind of give up.
Well, it's because they still have their intelligence to a point. Like, even the kid infected, he kind of talks a little bit of this movie. Like, they're not full on brain dead, brains, Romero types. Like, they still have some intelligence.
I don't have a picture of him with the kid, but yeah, I've got like it's cool shot of him with the baseball bat. He this little kid about just ninjas his ass. He just jumps down, makes no noise, and attacks Jim in the middle of the shop. And of course, he just gives him his best Negan right across the mouth. It's pretty close there, because man, all over. I know he's making a joke, but he's like, "Yeah, we have food." He's like, "Yeah, but we don't have cheeseburgers." Like, you fucker, you got time to have jokes right now, Jim? God damn it.
You know what? That might be the best time to have a joke, because you're like 2 seconds from death at any point in this world. Like, like, you live it up while you got it. You know what I
mean? Yeah, because they do go to the store. I don't have any pictures of the store, but they find a pretty well-stocked store, and they wild shopping. It's like the trashing the store in Zombieland, like, where there's like, let's just have this fun. Right. Let's just do a thing, and because we have the world to ourselves, like, why not? Which also means taking like 4 bottles of like really top shelf, like, quality liquor.
Except in this one, Tallahassee's not pulling out a banjo. You got a pretty mouth, boy.
We're a big house. Boom.
Zombie killed the no, it went to blah blah.
That's Sister Cynthia Knickerbocker. Dropped the piano
with the piano on the head.
Yeah. Gotta watch Zombieland again. God damn, it's a good movie. Still kind of in this time. It was like 2008, so not too bad.
Well, it's because of this movie that Zombieland was even made. I mean, this movie, I touched on it in the beginning. This, you if you go back to the pantheon of zombie film or zombie anything, of course you can go like White Zombie and early stuff. I believe that was Wes Craven, and then, or even before that, of course George Romero. Then you've got everything George Romero did, and then zombies kind of got played out in the '80s. You got like Evil Dead versions of zombies, yada yada. Different offshoots and
Those are like
variations.
demonic. I mean, not the Deadeye.
The crazies, like that's kind of like a rage virus type zombie thing. Then you had, which a lot of people will say, like, this movie brought back zombies. This movie brought back zombies to big screens. Resident Evil brought back zombies in general. Like, it's because of Resident Evil that this movie was made. And then we go on to Zombieland, The Walking Dead, every other 15,000 zombie movies.
And we're off to the races. But yeah. Speaking of things going wrong in no time, they do make it to the checkpoint, and unfortunately, they're all gone. They can't find military. They can't find anybody. And I do love the little line from Frank when they get there, and he, because he's like, well, he's looking around. He's like, it's got to be something. There's got to be something. We got to check. And Selena's like, he's like, we got to leave. And she's like, yeah, we got to go. And he just turns and goes, go fucking where? It's like, yeah, that was your whole plan.
Thank you. You should have stayed at the apartment. You'd have been better off.
I mean, I get it. You don't know until you know, but
right.
So Frank's he's not having a good fucking day right now. And it's about to get a whole lot worse. Of course, he's just wallowing in his defeat. And there's a body of a soldier like impaled on a pole or something, and a crow squawking away. And he's already having a shitty day, and he's just like, "Oh, come off it!" He's just like, "Shut up!" And God, he goes up. He tries to kick the wall to get this bird to just stop squawking at him. And I'm glad he found this shot. There's a drop of blood that falls off that
one
body.
drop
of that blood.
Yep.
Falls right into his eye.
Yeah.
And again, that fucking fast. So Frank's not long for this world, unfortunately.
And that scene
like
right
you said,
there,
he was already enraged. He was already mad that they didn't find. So
right. Well, and it's so fitting that he goes after his own daughter first, because I mean, it just shows you. I mean, prior to this, we saw how much he loved and cared for her, but the second his mind is to it, she is the first person that he goes after.
And it's like he kind of knows that he's trying to fight it.
Right.
What do you do? Because like you said, you have like 10 seconds. He sees his daughter and he just tries to tell her, like, he's like, I'm okay. I just want you to know I love you very much. And she's like, what? Like, what are you talking about? And he's just right into, stay away from me. He pushes her away. And it's like,
yeah,
oh boy. And then, he's raging out in front of them.
See, that's the thing. I mean, in this world, everybody should have a weapon in their hand 24/7. Because, I mean, this is a perfect example. You get one drop of blood in any open orifice that you have,
in your eye,
you're done. Like I said, eyes, nose, mouth, I assume ears. I mean, it's a canal inside. It would make sense. Nose, yeah, there you go. So it's, it's a very, why would you use an Ebola virus? Like, that's a very aggressive virus to control. I never understood that either.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I mean, cancer's a bitch too. So I don't know. You got to do something with it, I guess. I don't know if you can try to figure out something around it, but I don't know. Well, that was another one that had some I don't know if they're really they're infected, but I Am Legend. Those some fast fuckers right there too. And that was oh shit, hold on, you're muted. Cannot unmute guests because they chose to mute themselves. Wow. Go ahead. One more time. You're good now.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, no, so I'll take care of something. But yeah, no, like I said, this world is, and this is not one of the other things that stands out about this zombie, not zombie world, whatever you want to call it, is the ferocity of it. You know, we've seen with Walking Dead, you can basically live a normal life. You just got to watch out. You know, you can whatever.
Yeah, walkers are an inconvenience. Yeah,
walkers are, you know, as long as you don't find the whole quarry of them that you have to leave straight from your house, you'll be fine.
That was insane.
This one, if one of them, it's
you're done.
You're done. You know, I mean, hell, even in like a Resident Evil video game, you can run away from them for the most of the time.
Maybe not Mr. X. He always chases you.
Well, not the super
Mr. X
guy.
will always chase you. Yeah, I know the big Mr. X guy, but
it's just,
yeah, but man, one of them zombies will ruin your day.
It's so fascinating. Because see, we've got 2 films in this world, and obviously we're getting a 3rd. I'm curious to see.
I really want to see the 3rd.
There's so much that they haven't. Now there is a comic book. I don't know if you read the comic book or not.
I didn't know that actually.
I haven't either. I always wanted to, but I never did.
Look that up.
That apparently it fleshes it out more, but I don't know much about it. But yeah, I love this
world. Look into that. I've got an app that I read comics on. I'm gonna have to look into that.
Yeah. Oh
yeah. Text, Jesus. Fucking Frank brings up a good point. Maybe interesting to do a podcast and decide how we'd survive a zombie apocalypse. I'm like, yeah, which kind? I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Like, you know,
because I'm like, which movie or which show are we living in? Because there are some like this one I would hate to live in. The Last of Us I would hate to live in. Like I said, I Am Legend. I would hate to fucking live in that one too. Man, how would you even handle that?
The worst one to live in would be the Dawn of the Dead 04, because
that'd be awful.
It's the fast zombies, but they're on another level. Like nobody's surviving that. Like you might make it a week. You're not whatever. You know. But yeah, I mean,
we got Joe back.
A zombie like. But how? If we're what do you say?
Oh, no. I used to get this Chevy loving redneck out of here. Oh no!
Go kiss your sister. All right, just go. Just go.
Wouldn't you be pissed if Chevys were the only cars that worked in the apocalypse? That'd be so damn funny.
Well, here's the thing. Though. I mean, obviously we can just discuss this more. But if we're going to do there needs to be rules of this is the world. It's these kind of zombies. I mean, otherwise, like the game is no fun. Like we need to. Like I'm down for that podcast. That would be actually have prep time. Do the Batman thing, and here's what we're going to do, kind of thing, and kind of grade each other. That'd be kind of fun. Because that's like I said with this movie. Okay, yeah, you're up 23 floors. You're going to go to this magical checkpoint. God knows what's out there. If you even make it, I'm staying put. But not sure.
Yeah. Well, that's a good segue because not only is now Frank down for the count, the military decides to show up. Thankfully, instead of Jim having to put him down, all of a sudden a bunch of gunshots ring out and Frank just drops. And now we're introduced to Doctor Who and his band of merry men.
Yeah, this is where it takes a real dark turn. This. Yeah.
I think Dead Meat James does bring up a good point. He's like, really, this film and its 3 acts do follow the Of the Dead series, where it's like
they do. Well, that's what I'm saying. This is Day of the Dead right here. Yeah.
And now we're in the Day of the Dead portion. Like the first is like them trying to figure out what the hell this is with Night of the Living Dead. Then you got Dawn of the Dead of them trying to escape, and then now we're in Day of the Dead where you got the dickhead military people.
Well, this whole movie is a love letter to zombie horror, and especially Romero and Resident Evil. You've got the shots of the meandering zombies, in the dark for Resident Evil, and then like Dead Meat said, a 3-act structure for the Dead films. Well, of course, there's more, but up until this point, Land of the Dead had not come out.
or like Diary of the Dead, Survival of the Dead. You know,
Diary of the Dead, Survival of the Dead. I've seen all of them, but you can stop at Land of the Dead. Like you're
Yeah, I
fine.
agree. I've seen them all
You can
too. I
stop.
think that's a good. Yeah.
Yeah, like
They
Diary
kind
of
of
the
got
Dead.
weirder.
He at that point, George Romero, he couldn't get a budget to make a movie, so he did what he did.
Yeah. Anywho, so now you would think, now that you have this military presence, and I tried to find a picture of the house. I don't think I have one, but they have this big mansion that they've rigged up with machine gun turrets, barbed wire. They've got tripwires.
Oh, they got a hell of a setup. Yeah.
Landmines all over the front lawn, everything. But I love that conversation that he has with Jim. This isn't the conversation. This is the dark conversation right there. But when he's telling me, he's like,
he has to take care
of
his man, and he's promised him this and that. Yeah.
Yeah, but he tells me, he's like, well, I imagine you might be disappointed because it's not like there's a military force per se. He's like, it's like these are the guys that are left. Honestly, like the like 6 or 7 guys that are even left in this whole building that are trying to hold it down. And I would like to point out, I'm like, I wondered, I'm like, are some of them soldiers? Because I mean, they asked Jim to join, but I'm like, you make fun of Americans for things like accuracy by volume and praying and spraying, but I'm like, God damn, have you guys hit? I think a stormtrooper has hit more things than you guys ever have in this movie. I'm like, what the fuck are you shooting at? I know they're fast, but like, good Lord, guys, you're making me upset with how much ammo you're wasting.
28 days later with a Wilhelm scream of stormtroopers. That'd be great.
One of the zombies just Wilhelm screams. But anyway, friggin' Dr.
I'll be right
Who
back.
here.
Hold it down for 1 second.
Oh, I can keep. Yeah, I'll keep talking about it.
Yeah, keep going.
So yeah, Dr. Who here tells him that you guys are welcome to stay. We can we can give you food, shelter, all this jazz. And it's like, it seems like they're on the up and up. There is one. I try to remember all the military guys' names, but it's like there's one that actually seems like kind of level-headed and kind of the voice, not the voice of reason, but the one who makes the most sense. Who you're like, yeah, you're gonna die first, aren't you? Like I said, we see their stormtrooper aim when a bunch of infected come at the house, and we do get a cool kill. I have to kind of explain it, but there's an infected that runs across the lawn. He trips over one of the landmines. Boom, gets blown up. His body blows up, hits another part of the grass. Boom, gets blown up a second time. So this infected got ping-ponged between 2 landmines, which was hysterical to see. And as Dead Meat James points out, the soldiers don't realize to close their mouths and their eyes, even though they're hooting and hollering that they just watched a zombie double tap itself. But I was like, guys, this stuff gets in your orifices and you're dead. But plot point, I'll let that go.
Yeah, you would think by this point they're wearing full face protection. Like you would think that would be
hey, where is it?
They
should be looking like this, like Frank was. He had it down.
Like realistically, like ideal, like motorcycle helmet or something. Yeah. So it's padded, it's thick, and you can cover. Pretty much, if you cover this and you're not cut, you're fine. You can survive this as long as you're not attacked. But it's so easy to be turned in this one.
That's why I like the outfit that you always see Selena in. She's got that really long leather trench coat, and I'm like, and she's got like Kevlar gloves on. I'm like, she's pretty well covered, literally. I mean, like she tries to get bit.
Dude, I'm finding the thickest coat that I can find, and I'm putting about 3 rolls of duct tape over that thing. Like I'm smothering that thing. You know what I mean? Because it's but see, here's the thing though. This is another level. It's not just let's say you're walking through somewhere and you scratch your arm on something sharp that's sticking out that happens to have their DNA on it. You're being turned. It's not just from them. You literally have to pretend this is like Final Destination and you're living in a rubber room. Right. You have to be in a bubble from now on until it's now, of course, once you get into 28 weeks later, you see more of, whatever. But, it's a scary world, man. hard to make it in this one.
Yeah, and even scarier than that. I think Frank did say something about the good doctor here. Yeah. There was a lot of praying and spraying by the good doctor. I think a military man would have been smarter, like especially if he's the I think he was a major. Like you'd think he would have known better, but I digress.
Yeah, it would make sense.
The I don't have a picture of him chained up, but the other thing that Christopher Eccleston's character shows Jim is that he has an infected soldier in there named Mailer. This creepy bastard right here, who he has chained up in the yard to where he can't get away. And it's like, this is going to go wrong. This is like, again, this is some like governor level type shit. Instead of a daughter, it's this fellow comrade they've had has gotten infected. But he thinks that he's going to learn. I mean, again, you don't know. I mean, as twisted as the governor may have been, it's like they were just trying to figure the shit out. I mean, you didn't really know.
Hey, you know what?
They figured out from the show that they couldn't.
The governor's my favorite Walking Dead villain. I think he's superior to even Negan, but I'm once again in the minority on that. Oh, I love Governor, yeah. But one thing I will say about this old boy here with this setup, one thing that you learn about these dead people in this movie is they burn out quick. Like they burn bright, but they don't last forever. Like you're not going to see now. Prior to the new film, like we don't know what the new one's going to be. But in the two films,
all the new movie said is that it evolved, and I'm like, what do you mean it evolved?
That's what of course it's changed because they want to do a new trilogy of films. But within the first two films of these 28 film series, they last about a month. Like if they don't eat or if they don't whatever, like you see them die. You know, they don't make it long. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like I said, the doctor was trying to figure out. He's like, well, what he's going to show me is how long can they live before they starve to death? And I'm like, I guess that's a fair point. Like, they still have to feed on people, I guess, but if you don't feed them, I mean, then what? Okay, and then so like I said, this conversation here where he finally kind of lays it all out to Jim that like I'm trying to keep my guys going, but also like I made the broadcast and I basically promised them women if they'd come here. And it's like, yikes. Because he's like, yeah, women mean the future. I'm like, oh, Jesus. Now, there was...
I got to hand something.
Oh, yeah. Now, there is... Because there is a soldier that, again, it's like something that you don't necessarily call attention to, but you wonder, one of his soldiers has like big bald patches. He has hair, but he has these big bald patches on his head. And I'm like, is he that unlucky? He's having a really bad hair dye? Did somebody play a prank on him? I mean, it's the military. They just like dick around a lot with each other. Or I'm like, I always took it as it's a lot darker than that. I'm like, well, they're not exactly courting these women with permission. So I'm like, I think old boy's had a couple gobs of hair ripped out, which again, it just sinks that whole thing in further where, like I said, after this right here, Jim's like, okay, we're leaving. We're getting the hell out of here. We're not doing this. There's not a great picture, but they dressed the two girls up.
Yeah. This is the rough part. Like, this is the roughest part of the movie for sure.
Yeah, because I mean, there's Selena, but it's like Hannah's underage. She's a teenager. Like that's already a no-go.
But
that's
see,
like
Major West, like he's promising his men like a future, like he's promising children and all of this yada yada. There's one woman here. Like I'm not even going to talk about the child because that's just disgusting.
Like I said, we don't go there.
Yeah, we're not going there. But okay, so you've promised a building full of military men. Oh, here's a woman you can have a child with. What do you think's going to happen when you put one woman in a group of that many guys? They're going to kill each other. She's going to be, took advantage of to death, and nothing good is going to come from this. So, which is why I say he is so similar to the General and Day of the Dead because very similar plot points here. I mean, we're at the end of the world, but it's not like this is a 50-50 ratio. So, it's playing with very dark themes and everything else that, God, I wish we were on Rumble so I didn't have to watch what I was saying because I could
I think we know what we're.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But
there's
YouTube
because she pointed out that soldier's hair. I'm like, because she's like,
oh,
in his hair, and I was like, I always took it as this. I'm like, I think.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
the only
we
women
see
that
the
have been
scene
through there.
We see the scene when Selena is first entered into the room. There's like three of them grabbing at it like a a hungry dog with a steak hanging above all three of them. It's he's not he's promising them in a future of children, but what he's actually giving them is a slave that they're going to do to death and then whatever. Like nothing good is going to come from this. And Jim and all of his heroicness, he's like, no. So like you said, we're getting out of here. Like we're leaving, and then they're going to try to kill him for his trouble.
So right before that, like I said, the one soldier who at least had a good head on the shoulders, they take him and Jim, and they put him in like the dungeon. They separate them. They tie him to like a radiator, and then they go out the next morning to, take old Yeller behind the barn, as it were, and they're gonna leave him out there. Now, Jim does manage to get over the wall with the barbed wire and escape. Again, I'm glad Frank found this picture because I love this shot. That it's like right before that soldier keeps telling him like we're quarantined. It's not. It is just us. I'm like, yeah, Great Britain. It's an island. It's an island. Right. So like it is just contained to the to Great Britain, which kind of that sucks. He's like, no, the world is still going on without us. And Jim looks right up in the fucking sky and he sees this trail coming from a plane. And I love that shot. It's almost like not even steady cam. It's just like from handheld and it's kind of shaking. You're wondering, are you really seeing that? That's like the helicopter thing with Rick in Walking Dead. Like, did you see the helicopter? Was it real?
Yeah.
Eventually, we know the helicopters are real.
What are those circles on the bottom of that thing? You start wondering.
What are those three circles? I wonder what that could mean.
Yeah.
But he sees the airplane, and you kind of think for a second, oh, gee, it
is
just them.
I wonder what is going to happen.
That damn trash lady. So Jim loses his shirt, but that's okay because he goes full fucking Rambo. Makes his way back to the checkpoint. He starts running that air raid siren, and they realize, oh, they didn't kill him, man. He's coming back.
Yeah,
this is
his moment where just like Rick was handcuffed by the car and the claimers were about to do terrible things to Carl. He snapped, and this was Jim's moment to snap. And
this is the character arc right here. He releases Mailer. He releases Mailer from that chain, and he lets him just fucking go loose on these military guys. You get what you fucking deserve. I love this shot right here.
Oh, it's a great shot. The eyes. I love the eyes.
It's terrifying. I want to know who played Mailer because damn, dude, killed it literally. I love
the facial expressions are so good on his character.
And I'm like, this is how you do a scare because there's no fanfare. You can kind of see the soldier off on the right of the screen, but he's like blocking the window and he moves out of frame, and then Mailer's just right there. And boom, busted that window. I'm like, there's no that's how you do a scare. You don't call attention to it. You just see it, and it's like, oh, you have a moment to say, oh shit, and then here he comes. Like,
well, you're an educated horror fan, as am I. The jump scare is for beginners. That's why any horror fan kind of rolls their eyes at it at this point because it's so overdone. Whereas something
like you look at psychopaths like us and we straight face a movie because we're like, we can see the buildup. We know it's coming. I don't even jump anymore.
We know what's happening. Like, dude,
it's so
just like I was talking about Tuesday. Horror has advanced and we get more desensitized the further we go. In 30 years, they're going to have to really do something to get a jump out of somebody.
Well, like I said, that right there, I actually like jumped a little bit because I'm like, Jesus, you're not expecting him to be there because there is no buildup. It's just,
that's
oh shit,
because
he's
it's
sitting outside in the rain looking at him. I was like, God damn.
what makes that scary is the mood and the atmosphere of that shot.
Pouring
Not
down
dun
rain,
dun dun.
right?
You know, you've got the dark, it's eerie, the grainy film quality, the rain, and then it's almost like when you see Pazuzu's face in The Exorcist for the first time. You just get like this right here. You just like get this portion of the face and those eyes. The eyes are the windows to the soul. There's no soul in that thing.
There's eyes and a window right there.
Right. Yeah, like that thing is going to ruin your day. You are over. Like there ain't no chance.
Anywho, all of them die. Old Doctor Who here tries to steal the cab that they still have. They took the cab from Frank back to the house, and he had the same idea they did. I mean, shit. I love that he opens the door and he's just this guy right here sitting in the back seat, and he just goes like, "You killed all my boys." And it sucks because he actually turns his gun and shoots Jim right in the fucking like lower stomach. Right. They fall down, and Hannah, who I forgot to mention, it's hysterical because they put her on. Selena tried to put her on pills like Valium to make her just not care, which is dark as hell. Because they're like, well, if you're gonna,
you know what,
this shit, we might as well not care.
That's the thing. I mean, considering what she was facing, that was a blessing. You know, I mean,
she's doing her a favor.
I mean,
however, this zonked out teenager then jumps into the cab, throws that bitch in reverse, and just yeets Doctor Who up to the front door, where he's very quickly bear hugged by Mailer and just torn to death. The irony of this guy, like, that was his little protege of him trying to figure out how the apocalypse works, and shit, man, you got killed by him. So that's how it works. Oh, god damn it. Yeah, and so you kind of wonder, like, well, what happens now? They gun it through the front gate, and it cuts to a freeze frame. And you see Jim, it's kind of the same thing. It's actually another 28 days later has passed. And Jim wakes up again, very similar, but instead of now he's in the hospital, now he's in a bed in this little country house. And we get this really cool shot, and I'm glad I actually found it. Like we said about the zombies starving, we find like this one right here. I love that look. Instead of the red eyes now, like now their eyes have gone like pale.
They've gone like pale, and you can see the blood seeping out of the nose, like, you know, they've had a hemorrhage or something.
Yeah. So there's these two infected here that are just like starving in the middle of the road. They're not running anymore. They're just kind of crawling and just falling over. And outside on this big hill in the countryside, you hear a plane. Like I said, kind of similar, but that was like a commercial jet. This is looked like a military jet flies over. And you come to find out Jim's fine, Selena's fine, so is Hannah. And they run outside and they put this big hello sign on the ground. You can kind of see the plane in frame right there above the E, just flying over, trying to get his attention. And I love that little last, like, she looks over at Jim. She's like, "Do you think he saw us this time?" You know, and you end with him just looking off into the hills, hopeful as ever that maybe this will all be okay.
Well, and I like the little touch of how Selena uses the red dress that they made her wear as the last piece of the O.
There's a little bits of red in the
right. Yeah, it's like
Jim's got jokes. He's like, "Oh, you look really good in this. That's a shame." I was like, okay.
It's like, you know, well, you know, I mean, obviously in the situation you're in, you would use whatever you have, you know, make do.
Well, they're on the last letter there. You can tell they ran out of white sheets or something, and now they're using what they have left. Yeah. Now that he wakes up and he's like not the curtains too, because he ran out of curtains. But
well, that's, you know, now I mean, obviously there was multiple endings they did not use. We briefly talked about that before we went live, but they obviously went for the more hopeful ending. Even at this point is when they started using film stock to 35 millimeter to make this look bright, you know, hopeful, you know, like you might survive. It's not dingy digital like the previous one.
There is a trivia about that, which is really going to dampen everyone's mood. But
oh yeah, no, there was there's at least 2 different endings that I know of, and I don't even know all of them, where Jim dies. There's one where he gets took and then he gets put into the same rage table where the monkey was in the beginning. And then there's another one where he doesn't, after he gets shot, he dies and the girls leave. So there's 2, and I know there's more, but I know those 2 just from memory.
And in Frank says, I kind of like the hopefulness of the final scene. I mean, yeah, after all that, it is kind of nice that.
Well, yeah, it just
think maybe the plane solace is fun.
It depends on what kind of ending you want to go for. Do you want to go for the world is over ending, or hey, we might actually survive? So it works either way.
One of the big questions here before we get to the couple things of trivia, where does this stand with some other zombie films? Is this maybe considered one of the better zombie films? Or I know we said a broad, what we consider a zombie, but I mean, in terms of like apocalyptic zombie films, like, I don't know, where would you maybe rank this one? Just in general.
Oh, it's an easy top 10.
Top 10? Top 10? Okay.
It's a guaranteed top 10. Top 5, just for my personal rankings, I'll put Dawn of the Dead 04 as the best zombie film ever made. That's just
a good one.
God, that movie is incredible. You have to put the original Night of the Living Dead 68. I like Planet Terror from Robert Rodriguez. I think that's an underrated zombie film. Night of the Living Dead 1990, the Tom Savini remake.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
I think that was just as good as the original. George Romero's Dawn of the Dead was that 78 when he made that? I can't remember the year.
It was like 10 years later, 78. Yeah,
I think it was 78. Yeah, there's some good zombie movies out there. There's a lot of good zombie content. Like I said, I like this movie. I like the sequel even better, 28 Weeks Later, which, like I said, that's my hot take for the night. But it's definitely top 10, top 5, maybe. But as far as modern zombie films go, it's probably the best modern one, wide scope, for what most people would say, I would think.
I think I could agree with that. Like I said, that's a pretty broad question when you take everything into account. In terms of modern ones, I would definitely say so. Modern ones for me, I mean, Walking Dead's a show, but I can't really say that. It's not a film.
I'm not including that. Hell, The Crazies, the remake of The Crazies with the guy that starred in Timothy Oliphant for The Crazies. Yeah. I love that movie too. That's another one. But technically that's not zombies, that's rage monster stuff.
Well, yeah, like I said, I could say
big list.
Like I said, I could say I Am Legend. I'm like, well, those aren't really.
That's another good one.
Some sort. No. Yeah, I love Zombieland, the first one.
Zombieland. I don't forget about Zombieland. Yeah,
I love Zombieland. That's a really good one. I mean, it's a comedy, but I mean, shit, even Shaun of the Dead, another comedy. It's amazing.
A lot of people would put Shaun of the Dead in their top 10 as well, for sure.
And I like dumb things like The Walking Deceased, which just is a parody of like every one of these zombie movies. I own that on physical. It's around here somewhere. The movie.
I watched that on. I think I caught that on Tubi one night. Like, I don't remember much about it, but I like a good spoof movie, like the scary movie kind of style thing. I like it.
It's one of those ones that I saw. It's one of those where I walk into a store, I just saw it on a shelf, and I'm just like, I don't need to know anymore. I'm grabbing it. I don't care. It's like $5. I'm taking it. And I ended up falling in love with it.
Right.
Yeah. Like, it's a great spoof movie. Yeah, I could easily put it in a top 10. I don't know about top 5.
See, that's another podcast with it. Like,
yeah,
if we did like I'm actually gonna sit down and like make out a top 10 of what my zombie films are,
I had to really
and justify number 1 through 10, because there's a lot of good zombie properties out there. Like, that's what makes the zombie subgenre so cool, because you can make it fit so many things. It can be political, it can be satire, it can be funny, it can just be apocalyptic. You can go so many ways. And I mean, hell, look at just what George Romero did with it, and his 5 or 6 of the Dead films. Each one of those is speaking about something different. So I'm gonna come up with a top 10 of my zombie films. Maybe we could do like a ranking list episode one day or something, because that's gonna take some homework to do it right.
Yeah, like I said, that's gonna be a big one.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this trivia.
You got me thinking now.
Right. Where's that picture of the motor? There it is. The motorway. We need that one. For the scenes on the motorway, the production got permission to shoot on the M1 on a Sunday morning between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. The police gradually slowed traffic in both directions, and using 10 cameras, the filmmakers managed to capture a total of 1 minute of usable footage. I think it's this right here, like the transition shots of them going down the M1 motorway. It's like, Jesus, just for that. And he's like, we knew we could do this and do this quick and get it done. It's like, if you can do it, man, you just get the point across that we're traveling through a desolate land.
See, today they would just AI a CG shot of empty highway, one car on. Like they wouldn't go to the lengths of shutting down highways and everything like that.
Like that iconic shot, like the iconic shot from Walking Dead, where you got the whole line
Rick
of
on the
cars
horse
going out, and Rick on the horse on the empty highway going towards towards Atlanta. It's like,
and then you get Glenn coming out of Atlanta in the Dodge Charger,
tearing down the road in the Challenger,
with the horn blaring because it.
Turn it off. I don't know how. Like, that's the most honest. He's like, I don't know how.
You go underneath, rip that out is what she did. But
at least hey, another character named Jim at least knew what he was doing. He went in there and unplugged it. Jesus.
Right.
Let's see. I don't know. Let's pick a random picture. Zombies or something. The entire film was shot almost entirely in sequence. Only pickups and a few reshoots were shot out of sequence. That's always really impressive, because I always never really considered that. Sometimes I'm like, I forget that you don't really film something in order, like, because logistically that's not usually possible. That's kind of wild.
Well,
they considering kind of one at a time, it's cool.
Considering just the multi-different haircuts that Cillian Murphy has in this film.
It's probably where he wore the hat a couple times.
Right. Well, that's what I'm thinking. Like, because there's like early in the film where he's wearing the beanie and he's got like the sideburny beard thing. I'm not sure that's a real beard. That looks kind of fake. Like, that right there. Like, that's his beard line. But I don't know that. It's you could definitely tell they were kind of fudging something.
Yeah, there's that one in the beginning with the fire where he's got like the longer hair and the beard. I don't know.
Right.
That's why you have
he has like 4 different looks in this film. So just trying to, because they didn't have a lot of money for hair and makeup. What they say, $8 million made this movie or something?
$8 million, yeah. That's it.
I mean that's a lot of money, but considering
I say that's it, like like 8 million wouldn't be a lot to me.
It takes a lot of money to shut down entire city blocks to film this stuff on.
But in London. Okay, we need the celebration scene. Here we go. Boom. We're going to dampen everyone's mood. Is hopeful and cheerful as the ending may have been. The final scene where Jim and Selena celebrate with. Oh no, I'm sorry. That's awkward. That's not the right one. My bad. Let's go back to the Christmas lights. It's all happy, right? The scene where Jim and Selena celebrate with Frank and Hannah was shot on September 11th, 2001. Danny Boyle said it felt really extremely strange to shoot a celebratory scene on that particular day. I would say so. That kind of puts a damper on things,
Yeah. I guess if you needed motivation to be upset, that I guess you can use it as fuel. Turn a negative into a positive kind of thing. But it's definitely a rough one there.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Let's see. Let's get a picture of old Jim here. Funny enough, Ewan McGregor, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Was originally slated to play Jim, but him and director Danny Boyle had a falling out at the time over The Beach, which is that movie we're talking about from 2000, in which McGregor was supposed to play the lead until he was replaced by Leonardo DiCaprio. They have since reconciled. After that didn't work out, the role was offered to Ryan Gosling, which is interesting, who had a scheduling conflict. So
that would have been bad. I wouldn't want
it could have been.
Yeah.
I could have seen a fairly young Ewan McGregor in this time. I mean, shit, 2000. He was in the middle of Star Wars right now.
So to say he was filmed. He
99.
Let's see,
and then 2002 was episode 2.
Yeah, so he was in the middle of the prequels there. But the problem is it's almost fitting that Cillian Murphy started as being an unknown because the rest of the cast was as well. Like, I think Ewan McGregor might have been too bright of a star.
He'd been doing some stuff already, so yeah.
He would have took away from everybody else. Kind of the beauty of this movie is kind of everybody's on a lower level. I mean, they're good actors. They're just not, oh my God, you're blah, blah, blah.
Like we talked about earlier. Holy crap, that's Brad Pitt in this zombie movie. And it's really distracting.
It's exactly right. It's, and once again, how many stars got their big break in horror films that, and then they went on to bigger and brighter things. You can add Cillian Murphy to that list. If it wasn't for this film, he wouldn't have had Oppenheimer, 2 years ago now or whatever. A year and a half ago. But
and then he played a really good Batman villain.
I mean, Ewan McGregor is great. I mean, solid. Obi-Wan Kenobi. We're not going to talk about him in the god awful Birds of Prey movie. That didn't exist. That never happened. But
I was kind of excited for Black Mask, but I was like, I'm not feeling.
I was too until the version of the Black Mask that they gave us. That's like that was.
Yeah.
I just wasn't. I would, but on point here, I'm glad that we got Murphy in the role.
This is the only thing I have on fire, so we'll do that. I tried to find a picture of the gas station.
I don't think I have one.
Yeah. So the crew filled all the necessary papers to destroy the Canary Wharf petrol station, but the police were unintentionally not notified. When the explosives were detonated, the police sent fire brigades. Although one was already present, Danny Boyle resolved the matter in several hours. The explosion cost £250,000 in total. Yeah, I heard about the the gas station that exploded. It's like, they unintentionally didn't tell them, and that shit went boom, and they're like, oh.
Yeah, you might want to warn Law that, hey, we're going to fake blow up the gas station, but everything's fine, we promise.
Also, as many times as like they said, like, hey, we filmed this in sequence. I'm like, well, you had the cops because you were shutting down the main parts of London for this establishing shots. Like, you didn't tell them, hey, we're going to blow up a gas station today. Yeah, someone didn't say something.
Right, like somebody, I don't know what middle manager was supposed to be notifying the fire brigade. You Brits talk weird, but it's no wonder we
was
won
at
the
petrol
war.
Station. I'm like, for the Americans at the gas station. Sorry. I watch a lot of British shit. I know what he meant, but
I
watch British YouTubers.
I don't speak your words. I don't, but the fire, the fire department is what normal people say, but whatever.
You don't see, look, you don't do that, and then Manchester goes up in flames. That's what that is. Right there.
There you go.
At the end of the road.
Yeah. But yeah, no, you would think the police might want to know about, hey, we're going to fake blow up a gas station. Everything's fine.
I'm going to skip that one for now, and I'm going to go. Yeah, okay. Let's go to Doctor Who. Speaking of British institutions. The scene where Major West reveals his plans for Hannah and Selena to Jim was written by Cillian Murphy, Christopher Eccleston, and Alex Garland the night before it was shot. A different scene had been scripted and shot, but no one was happy with it, especially the two actors. I mean, I like that. Just do it on the fly. If you don't,
what? What they did was good because it is very you believe Major West, especially in that scene. Whenever
how calm he is, it's like, that's a bad dude.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He's a military man. He's, he's cool under pressure. He's not gonna, jump. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. He played really well in this film because he's a cog in the wheel and he's loyal to the. He's not here to think. He's here to serve. So that's what they do.
Yeehaw. Let's get the group here. I'm not gonna be a dick like Frank. I'm not gonna do an over under. Apparently, the word
all of London died. That's well, they die later, but all of England died.
Well, no, there's two over unders. The first is that the word fuck is used 61 times. I mean, sure.
Okay. Fuck. Over or under.
No, I just said how many times. I'm not gonna be a dickhead. It was 61 times, but whether I believe that or not, I don't know. And the last one, again, I'm not going to over under it. It says body count is 14, but in parentheses, possibly more. No shit. Most of them died.
The entire island is gone. Like, everybody.
Like I said, there is a kill count for this. And of course, Dead Meat James tries his damnedest because he's like, well, they're alive. Really, they're not dead. And he sees this and he goes, God. He's like counting all the bodies in this scene in the church. He's like, that's one of those movies, isn't it? He tries to freeze frame and he's like, I think there's like 78 bodies. I don't know. It's
well, and see, that's the thing. You can't count the rage monsters because they're not dead. They got turned and they were alive.
Well, those guys were all dead. So I'm like, they were living and then died. So technically they did die. I don't know. They did die in the movie.
So I'm saying this gets into the zombie, not zombie argument because in a traditional zombie, yes, but like Frank in this movie, he gets a drop of zombie, rage blood in his eye. In 20 seconds, he turns. You can't count him because he never died. You know what I'm saying? So
he gets gunned down like a few seconds later, and now he's dead. But.
Right, but you can't count every person who has turned as a dead eye. That's my point.
What was London's population in 2002? I'll go with that.
A fuck ton. That's the number.
And most of them died. All right. Well, that's all the trivia and that's all the BS I've got for you. So, final thoughts on 28 Days Later. I mean, although we haven't waxed poetical enough about it, but
right.
Give me your final thoughts on this. I mean, I'm pretty sure I know. Is it a recommend?
Fuck yeah, it's a recommend. It's this is one of the few British things that I actually like. Like I don't like most. I mean, you and I talked about this. I don't get the British humor. That's not my deal.
Oh, I do. I fucking love it.
This is probably the greatest British film ever made, in my opinion. Revolutionized zombies. Whether they're zombies or not, it's not the point. It brought the genre back. If it wasn't for this, we wouldn't have so many other things. And the fast zombie is directly responsible for this. And just for that alone, it's earned its place in Hollywood. So yeah.
Actually, I'm not going to dig that out. Fuck that. You said fast zombies. I got given a movie a few years ago that I just haven't watched yet, and I'm like, the title says it all, and it sounds terrible, but I still want to watch it. There's literally
what's the title?
The movie is titled "Fast Zombies with Guns."
Fast Zombies with Guns. I can't say I've ever seen that before.
I can't say I've ever heard of it. I got there's a DVD case back there that says that. And I'm like, I think it tells me everything I need to know.
I might have to sail the high seas and find that one. That sounds like it's bad enough that I need to see it. So, you know. Like, that didn't even sound like a B movie. That sounds like a Z movie, but I'm interested.
A D-list tier movie. Let me look at it real quick.
Fast Zombies with Guns. Like, just kill yourself, because you're not going to win. Just kill yourself.
Real quick, Fast Zombies with Guns, 2009. Oh, you can rent it on Amazon Prime for 99 cents. Wow.
There you go.
Jesus, 2 out of 10 IMDb, 2 out of 10 on Prime Video. Jesus. It sounds so
okay.
bad.
Yeah, I know what I'm watching tonight. I just made that decision. I'm watching that. So.
I mean, if anything, you lost $1. I'm watching it on
Tune in
Prime.
next week for our review of Fast Zombies with Guns.
God damn it, no. I own it on physical back there for some fucking reason. There's another horror movie that I have.
Out of all the movies that Amazon has for free, they charge for that piece of shit.
That's
what
true.
is going on? Like, that's crazy.
I have another horror movie back there called Dead Birds that I've been meaning to rewatch because I watched most of it.
Dead Bird.
What? Dead Birds has nothing to do with Dead Birds. It's
it didn't have anything to do with the birds or any other.
No,
nothing?
it's we're squirreling. Sorry, it's set during the Civil War. A bunch of I know. It's set during the Civil War. A bunch of robbers. It's in the South. When I say Civil War, so they're in the South. They hide out at like this old farmhouse. I don't remember much of it. I just remember there was some. Then it's like now there's like not demons, but they're like beasts or something that's there, and it starts picking them all off. So that's what the premise was.
That's kind of
I made fun of it because I made fun of it because I'm like, dude, hey, I mean,
it sounds interesting, but it's no fast. It's no fast zombies with guns, am I right? That's a movie with guns.
I guess not. Right. I mean, like I said, I watched a dude quick draw on something that passes by him in the cornfield, and of course,
if Fast Zombies with Guns is not nominated for Best Picture this year, I'm gonna be pissed. I gotta tell you what. But whatever.
Yeah, but I love. I remember the ending shot of that movie of Dead Birds. It's like you see them. It's now morning. They finally. It's the last guy like almost makes it out of the cornfield, and he kind of drops dead. And then you see a bunch of Confederate soldiers walking down the road. They come across. They see the house, and then, but when the guy fell out of the corn, we know he fell there. But what they see is like you just see like a bloody leg, like the remnants of like a monster or something, and they're like looking at it. So you're like, wait, was he a monster? Was he not human? What happened? And they're like, hey, let's go check out that house. And that's what it ends on. I was like, what? I had to go back and rewatch it. I saw it once, and I just made fun of it to no end because I'm like, what is this title? What is this movie?
That's great.
So I bought it anyway. What do you got going on the internet other than I think maybe I gave I gave you a recommendation for a movie, I guess. To be fair.
I'm going to do a recommendation. I always do it every time, but tomorrow's a special day, my friend. It is,
That's
Mrs.
true.
Voorhees' sweet baby boy. Jason Voorhees himself.
Very true.
Pluto TV is streaming. I think all of the Friday the 13th films. So if you have Pluto TV, watch some Friday the 13th tomorrow. I know that's what I'm going to be doing as soon as I get home. So I think the only thing that's coming out in theaters I'm even kind of interested. There's that live action How to Train Your Dragon. The kids want to go see that. I may or may not take them. I don't know. We'll find out. But it's Friday the 13th. If you ain't watching the Jason Voorhees hack and slash underage sex drinking movie, what's wrong with it? Celebrate Jason Voorhees. And apparently, Friday the 13th is going to announce something big tomorrow as well. I did see that on X. I'm guessing it's something to do with the Crystal Lake series that they're going to make about his mother, which I don't really care about Jason's mom. I just want to see Jason hack and slash people. But I'll take any announcement at this point. So we'll see what happens.
Hell yeah. I'm finding stuff.
I think Jeremy's shelf diving right now. He's going to be pulling out merch.
Yep.
Let's see what.
Sorry, you all didn't get to see that. Real quick. So that's the segue into me. Sorry. Whew. I'll be back here Tuesday doing God knows what. Next Thursday should be 28 weeks later. So, like I said, we'll continue this series.
Right.
Excuse me, leading up to the 28 years release, which I am so goddamn excited for. We get Ralph Fiennes in this movie. You get freaking Voldemort in this new movie.
Yeah,
so excited. Anyway, so if you can ever find this movie, there it is. I saw this, and I'm like, this is the dumbest shit, and I have to watch it.
Yeah, I have seen that. Which that is a straight up Walking Dead season 1 ripoff.
Yeah, I'm like, I love that poster of Rick on top of the prison bus, and I'm like, you have this guy just like Michael Jackson.
Technically season 2 if they're on the prison bus. Yeah, that's a great shot.
But yeah, prison season. Let's go in order here. I told you I have it. This is, I don't know what this shit is, but this is the Dead Birds one that I said I found. There's worse things than dying. So there's.
Hey, I'm gonna be hitting up on Amazon tonight watching Fast Zombie. I want
Well,
all
like I
of us
said-
watching this go. Just imagine like being like the guy that works in Amazon that monitors and stuff, and he sees like 50 people go watch Fast Zombies with guns tonight. We're gonna be like, what the hell is going on? Nobody ever watches this thing.
Well, like I said, I can't just so no one thinks I'm bullshitting. It's right here. I kid you not. It's. I don't know what.
I'm down. I'm watching it. I love a good bad horror film. I've watched so many of these sci-fi movies. Like I've seen so many throughout my life. But yeah,
I might have to get really inebriated and watch that movie. Anyway.
Hey, I've already got the inebriator. I've been there a while, my friend. So I just need to move it now. We're good.
Well, just keep the trainer rolling. Anyway, so now let me start this goddamn music. Okay, I'm sorry. Or might be both. But we'll be back here on Tuesday doing God knows what. But just look out for us.
Dude.
So we'll be there. We'll see you guys then. Goodbye.
Adios.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.